I said, hey girl, I'd like to stay here for a while, just you and I, far from the places we can't get away from.
So today we are going to be doing this cool like little time-lapse shot in the middle of the street. We got the cars passing by. What's going on, guys? So we are at the Tallahassee Capitol, as you can see in the background. I've got my boy Xavier right here. Say hello.
What's up, guys?
What's going on, guys? But yeah, he's going to be going to help me out with this shot because I don't have a self-timer. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
What's up, guys? I'm Xavier. I'm from Tallahassee. I do photography mostly, but I do videography as well. I'm just gonna plug myself right here because, you know, shameless. Why not? Whatever. Back to Nick.
So it's prime time traffic right now, which is actually pretty clutch because we want a full loop of cars while we're doing this effect. And once I put the grade on it, I think it's gonna look really cool. I'll maybe put some music on it, but we're gonna play around with it because I've never done something like this before. But I think it's gonna look really cool once we're done with it. So yeah, let's get to it. Yeah, so now we're walking to the intersection. We're gonna try and get this effect while the cars are still going. As you guys can see. But yeah, let's get to it.
Play me for a while, play me till the sun rises, play me like a violin.
Hey everyone, so we just finished up the shoot. As you can see, this super cool time lapse right here. I think it came out really cool, so when I get back to my house, we're gonna go ahead and finesse it in Lightroom and see what we can do with it. So I just want you guys to follow Xavier because he really helped me out with this shoot. So what do you have to say to them?
Yeah, guys. What's up, Xavier? I had a really fun time. We got some really good shots over there. If you guys want, I'm a photographer from Tallahassee, and my Instagram is right here. But yeah.
Just like that. But yeah, so make sure you go follow my boy Xavier. He really helped me off this shoot. And so yeah, now we're gonna go over to Lightroom and see what we can do. Woo. All right, everyone, so we're back at my house. Now I'm about to show you the process, what it takes of how to get this effect through Lightroom and Premiere Pro. So I'm sorry if you use any other program because this is what I use. So with that being said, let's go ahead and hop over to my computer. All right, everyone, so we're at my desk now, and we're gonna go ahead and open up Lightroom. For the sake of this tutorial, I have already opened up Lightroom and edited the photos just to save time on the workflow and show you guys this tutorial without wasting your time. So now that we're in Lightroom, as you can see, we have all the photos edited. There were about 28 photos in the whole shoot. That's gonna make the hyperlapse. For a rule of thumb of how I got all the same photos, I use my Blue Nights preset just so when the hyperlapse is together, it doesn't look crazy and it's changing colors. So what I did is use my Blue Nights preset right here and edited all the same photos by doing this. The trick is editing the first photo and then synchronizing the photos like this. You want to hold shift on the first photo and then sync them just like that, and it's synchronizing all the photos so it looks all the same. All right, so once you have all of them synchronized, what you're gonna do is you're gonna go ahead and go to File, you're gonna go to Export, and this menu is gonna pop up. So with this, you're gonna export them to wherever you want them stored. Me, I have them saved on a hard drive. As you can see, my passport, projects, YouTube, and time-lapse photo, which means it's the folder that it's in. And you're gonna click select folder. So once it's selected, you're gonna wanna scroll down to File Settings, and you're gonna make sure your image format is set to TIFF. The reason why it's gonna be set to TIFF is because if you don't know that JPEG compresses your photo after it exports, TIFF is the file size that you get to keep all the original quality. So when we put it in Premiere Pro, we're not going to lose any quality. It's going to be just how it's exported. Make sure color space is on sRGB, and in the other settings you don't really need to worry about. So when you're done with that, you're going to click export, and for the sake of the tutorial, I have already exported them. So next off, you're going to go ahead and open up Premiere Pro and click New Project. Once you click New Project, you're going to just want to name it. For me, I'm going to go ahead and name this Time-Lapse Tutorial. And then you're gonna want to browse and save it to wherever you need to. So once that's selected, you're gonna click OK. Alright, so once you're in Premiere Pro, you're gonna want to go ahead and import the images from where you saved them in Lightroom. So go ahead and find out where you saved them and click the first one, and then shift click all the way down to the last one and click open. So what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna shift click all of them, and then you're gonna drag them over to your timeline. And once they're in your timeline, you want to go over to sequence settings and then resize it for Instagram. So Instagram's ratio is 1080 by 1350. and click OK. It's going to ask you, do you want to change the preview file format, and you're just going to click OK. And as you can see, it's clearly way too zoomed in. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to hover all of these and then type auto reframe. And then it's going to start analyzing. As you can see, it just reframed it to the proper ratio. Now you do need the newest version of Premiere Pro, so if you don't have it, just update it and then you should have it. So now what you're going to do is you're going to hover over all of them and you're going to right click and click speed and duration. Make sure ripple edit is turned on, and then you're going to edit this and say change the 2 or whatever you have it to 0, 1. And once that's done, it's going to look something a little like this. So it looks a little shaky, so you don't need to do this process if your photos aren't shaky. This is just for the sake of the tutorial if your photos are shaky like mine. So if you didn't put warp stabilize on your photos, you can go ahead and skip this part, and I'll put the timestamp to skip to right here. But if you did need to put warp stabilize, this is for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put some warp stabilizer on it. But first we need to go ahead and nest it. So drag it like this, right click and click nest. Then you want to name it whatever, this doesn't really matter. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and search up warp stabilize. Right there, you can just go ahead and drag it on like that. And then you should see analyzing in background. Alright, so once that's done, it should look something like this. And as you can see, that's a lot smoother than it just was. So now that we have that clip completed, we have to meet Instagram's requirement for short videos. With videos, the shortest video you can post is 3 seconds long, so we're going to have to extend this clip out to 3 seconds. In order to do that, what you're going to do is you're going to duplicate this clip by holding Alt and dragging it out like that. And then what we're going to do is, just to give it a nice little bounce, we're going to go ahead and go to speed duration again, and you're just going to click reverse speed. So once that's done, it should look something like this. And now it has a nice little bounce to that. So in order to go ahead and get past this part, we can't duplicate these anymore, or warp stabilize is going to say something like this. As you can see, it gives us that error message. So in order to get past that, you're going to want to do this. Go ahead and go back to your project and basically start the process right over. Drag your photos back in, drag them out like this, go ahead and go to speed duration, ripple effect must be checked, and go ahead and change it to 1 as like the same thing. So just like that, and as you can see, it looks like you just started before, but with some photos. So you're going to drag it out again, and then you're going to click nest. You don't really have to name it anything, but I am going to. And then you just want to throw warp stabilize it on again. So go ahead and go back to your effects tab and drag warp stabilize on just like that. And as you can see, it's analyzing in the background like again. So after that's completed, what you're going to do is literally the same thing. Drag it back out just like that. So now you have met Instagram's requirements. As you can see, it surpasses 3 seconds. So now all you really need to do is play it back and make sure it looks good. Alright, so that looks perfect, and now all we're going to do is just export it and post it to Instagram. So once you've surpassed the 3 seconds, you can pretty much do anything you like, but for me, the sake of this tutorial, I'm not going to go too in depth on the effects that you can do, but you can get super creative and put like music and stuff on it, or even like effects in After Effects. So once that's done, you want to censor in and outs by clicking I and O and going up to File and going to Export. Alright, and so once you're all done, it should look something a little like that. And it's just a cool little boomerang that you can kind of play around with and get creative with. And so what you're going to want to do is, you're going to want to come over here and click your output name. And for me, I have already exported, so I'm not going to export it, but you're going to click where you want to save it. Then you're going to scroll down to bitrate settings, and you're going to click CBR. So if you have a fast computer, I highly recommend these settings, and if you do have a slow computer, I recommend these settings, but just use a smaller bitrate. For me, I have a fast computer, so what I'm going to do is go ahead and go to 50 bitrate, just so we get the max quality. And as you can see, it's not even a big file size, but actually it is going to take very long to export, so just be aware of that. So once you're all done, you're going to click maximum render quality, and you can use the previews if you had to render them out, and then you're going to click export. and then it's gonna start exporting. So once it's done exporting, it should look a little something like this. And after that, you're pretty much done. You can go ahead and upload it to Instagram and get all the likes and comments incoming. So again, my name is Nick Burnham. If you really enjoyed this video, I highly suggest subscribing, as I will be making more tutorials just like this and posting content daily on Instagram. So make sure you follow me right there at Nick Burnham, because I would love to connect with you guys and help you out even more. So with that being said, I'll see you next time. Peace.